So you see, you're not going to learn something that you might not ever use. The whole idea of this course is designed to make it easier for us to understand how to deal with day-to-day problems.
Hey, can I be the banker?
I think that'd be a great idea.
Oh, illusions of grandeur already.
This whole area has to be mopped and cleaned thoroughly. And make sure you get right into all the corners. I'll be back to check it. Hamilton, what happened to you?
Oh, nothing. I must have been a bit clumsy. I slipped on a wet patch.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So I hit my head, I think. I'm fine. I'll live. What's the matter? You think I've been mugged, did you?
So, you owe the bank $134 for your mortgage, plus the bank fees of $13.40. Oh, we're out of change. How'd you like to invest the 60 cents change in our new scheme at 9.5% interest? Whatever that means. Well, you'll just have to take a check. Bloody money grubber.
Hey, Lizzie, how about a loan of a couple of hundred till tomorrow?
Bank's closed.
Oh, crikey.
Well, what do you think? Will I see you tomorrow?
I don't know. I'll have to check with my private secretary to see if I can fit you in. Tell you one thing, though. Beats working in the laundry.
Oh, I reckon it's Butte. I'm going to have a word with Dora and see if she can't change her mind about not coming back.
Oh, thanks, Lizzie. I'll look forward to seeing all of you again. Soon.
Yeah, what's the matter, Hamilton?
Oh, nothing. I'm fine. Hamilton had an accident in the showers this morning.
Well, what happened?
Well, she says she slipped on the wet floor and hit her head.
Hamilton? That's right. I was a bit clumsy. You better go to the examination room and get checked out.
Oh, no.
Look, if you've hit your head, you could have concussion.
Mrs. Knox, would you mind taking Hamilton to the examination room?
I'll be fine.
You heard Mrs. Morris. Go to the examination room and no argument. All right?
But I can assure you it'll just be a waste of time.
And Hamilton, if you happen to have any more accidents, I expect you to report them.
You don't seem entirely convinced it was an accident.
You noticed how the other women have been treating her lately?
It's a bit offhandedly, but she's only new. Maybe they're just a bit wary.
They've sent her to Coventry. Now, why?
Well, they're always playing games amongst themselves, but that doesn't mean to say they had her bashed.
You know the pattern in here. Either conform and buckle under or pay the consequences.
She's a strange girl. There's something about her that just doesn't quite fit.
Well, I think she bears watching. The last thing we need is another accident like Kay White had.
Just saw Sandy coming out of the medical examination room. She was pretty shaky on her pins.
Wonder why. Any reaction from the screws?
That's just the point. Not a word.
Nothing at all.
I would have thought there would have been some kerfuffle.
At least.
Maybe she didn't tell them.
Well, maybe she did tell them they're not doing anything about it for a while.
Or why would they do that?
Who knows? Listen, everybody. We're going to change our tactics. This time we're going to get Hamilton talking and we are going to do the pumping, and I want to know everything there is to know about her.
I wish to God you'd make up your mind. I'm flat out trying to remember who I talk to and who I don't.
You'll encourage her to do the talking and talk about herself, and let me know if you learn anything.
Well, I think it's a whole bloody big waste of time.
If she is a plant, you've got as much to lose as anybody else, and you just shut up and do as you're told.
Oh, you're back already. How are the classes?
Not bad. What happened to you? You look awful. Did you slip down in the showers or something?
You've heard already. Yes, I guess I must have trodden on a piece of soap. Over I went.
What you need is a nursemaid.
No, I don't need a nursemaid. What I need is someone to talk to. Feel like telling me why you've all decided to give me the cold shoulder all of a sudden?
Ah, we always do that to newcomers until we find out whether they're all right or not, especially the ones that ask too many questions.
Look, I only did that because I'd seen Judy on the TV. I was beginning to think it was my deodorant. I mean, the only one who talked to me was Vera Bennett, and that was to give me dirty jobs. Well, have you decided yet?
I have, and that's what counts. He'll do.
Where'd he come from, Sandy?
Bentley.
I thought you said you came from Sydney.
No. I said I'd stayed in Sydney back in '73. Been looking for work, but it's a hell of a lonely place if you haven't any friends.
What place isn't?
Yeah, right, like here. I mean, they put me in this tiny cell all by myself, going crazy for company, someone to talk to.
Can still get lonely even when you've only got women to share with.
Yeah, but it's certainly better than nothing. I mean, what do you think, Judy? You don't share with anyone?
I don't know, because it's better than sharing with someone you don't like.
Yeah. Still, I think you and I get on just fine if we got to know each other.
It just seems such a shame that for all the effort he's putting into it, he'll get so little in return.
Oh, it's early days yet. Besides, the roll-up this afternoon was a great improvement on what it has been, I hear.
Oh, the women are just curious, that's all. Do you really think they care about trying to improve their minds? All they're really interested in is the fact that he's a man and trying to work out how they can use him.
Well, I can't exactly blame them. He is a very attractive man.
Oh, don't tell me the brand new bride is looking around already.
One at a time is all I can handle. Actually, I was thinking of you. Now, if you played your cards right...
You know I don't approve of relationships between the staff.
Hi, how's everything going?
Oh, great, just great.
Well, that's an improvement.
Yes, things really started to get going this afternoon. And I didn't get raped once.
Oh, don't give up hope. The day's but young. Well, I must be off.
Where's the best shopping centre near here? I've got to get a few bits and pieces.
Well, I'll be going down tomorrow at lunchtime. Well, you can come with me if you like.
Oh, it's a date.
Oh, Mrs. Morris.
What is it, Lizzie?
You know what's happened to Sid? Was supposed to be here today.
I'm sorry, I haven't heard anything.
Oh.
Well, maybe you got held up on some other job.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Come in. Oh, excuse me, Mrs. Davidson. Hamilton would like to see you. All right, Mrs. Powell, show her in. Right?
Oh, I'm sorry to bother you, Mrs. Davidson, but I was wondering if there's any chance of being moved to another cell.
This is not a hotel, Hamilton. We can't move the guests around just because they don't like the view.
I know that, and ordinarily I wouldn't ask. It's just...
Well?
It sounds so silly when you put it into words.
Hamilton, I have a lot of work to get through, so...
I get lonely.
I see. Well, all of the women get lonely from time to time.
But they have someone to share with, you know, some company, someone to talk to, and that's all I ask.
I'll look into it and see if it's possible.
Well, Judy Bryant, she's in a double cell, and there's no one with her, and...
I said I would look into it.
Don't bother to knock. Now, what the hell's going on here?
Got yourself a guest?
I don't want to share. I'm perfectly happy on my own. Please, Mrs. Powell, can't she go somewhere else?
Well, I'm afraid it really isn't up to you or me. Anyhow, you've been on your own too long now. The company will do you good.
I like being on my own. I want to see the governor. Mrs. Powell!
Quiet, Brian.
Well, you never let up, do you? Now, how did you manage this little trick?
Oh, come on, Jude. It wasn't a trick.
How did you manage it?
I asked the governor.
Did it ever occur to you to ask me first?
What was all that commotion?
Just Bryant exercising her considerable lungs.
What about?
She's just been assigned a new cellmate, and apparently the choice of partner is not to her taste.
Who's gone in with her?
Hamilton.
I wonder why Mrs. Davidson did that.
Oh, actually, it wasn't her idea, it was Hamilton's. Apparently she felt lonely all by herself in a single cell.
Maybe Vera was right.
What about?
Well, Hamilton had an accident earlier on in the showers. I had to send her off to the examination room. Vera thinks that maybe she didn't have an accident, but it could have been a deliberate bashing.
And I take it Hamilton didn't report it.
Do they ever?